I think we're doing it. Let's see. All right, Chris's first Twitch stream, except for the one I just did, where I was just spending 3 minutes flailing around looking for a share button. So I'm gonna just be coding, doing some nerd stuff. Oh no! Doing some nerd stuff. Get off. What is that? Okay, Chris has never used Twitch before, so we're gonna kind of learn that too. I'm guessing that I'm streaming, so I need to tweet this out. Let me see. Bear with me. Yeah, if you're new here and looking for actual content, yeah, skip ahead 5 minutes or whatever. Let's see. Let's see the Twitch.com. Sitting there. Now, do I just link to that, or do I link to what do I link to? Do I just link to that, or do I? Fuck yes. All right. Live coding Nostr relay. You know. No. Emoji, hand down, finger down, yeah. All right, is that acceptable? I guess so. Live coding a Nostr relay on Twitch. Join. You know, there will come a point when we do all of this on our own. The secret to boosting engagement is to get from different accounts. And then you can be like, oh, sweet. Someone liked my tweets. All right. I'm prepared for this to have 0 followers. That's okay. Let's see what we got. Uh-oh, there was a noise. What is that noise? What was that noise? There was a ding. Does that mean someone joined? Probably not. 1 viewers. Hi, 1 viewer. I don't know what the sound effect was. All right. Okay, some bullshit from there. All right, let me introduce what the hell we're doing here, which is we're creating a Nostr relay. And so for those who don't know, over the last week or so, we've been integrating Nostr, kind of swapping out some of the previous Arcade City backend, Arcade City Bitcoin Gig Economy app with Nostr. And one thing that I love about Nostr is we can basically, I mean, this is one thing I'm going to be putting to the test over the next few days. It's looking like we can build like all of the logic for a ride-sharing app without even needing to write our own backend. So to this point, we've just been kind of spamming the Damus relay because this, yes, like Damus is another social network app. Going to use a Lightning Network, also uses Nostr, and they've got their own relay that they run. And about a week ago, Super Testnet, another developer who does Nostr stuff here in Austin, he built a little protocol for it's kind of given me the kick in the ass to, 2 weeks ago I was like, yeah, no, later on we'll do this, and decided to prioritize that to right now because Super did a really great job of getting this protocol built out. And look at this. This repo's got 23 stars. Mine's only got 2. All right. So yeah, protocol for peer-to-peer ride sharing using the Nostr network. If people join, maybe they can ask questions if they want to know more about what Nostr is. But basically, instead of using the Damus relay for everything, it's time to write our own relay. And this has been quite easy. Everything in terms of implementation is super easy. It's just like reading the spec and coding it in JavaScript. It's very straightforward. And so in this video, I'm just gonna like let you see my development process. I thought as I'm starting the arcade relay, it might be worth streaming that. And if there's interest, I'll make this into a series and do more of it. Be me, you're just gonna listen in on me doing the coding that I usually do, and I'll narrate. And I'm having some ranch Ritas, so I might get a little silly. That's okay. And oh shit! Looks like I've got a viewer. Welcome, viewer. So let's get into this. So I started earlier getting some of the NIP1 implemented, just like really basic handshake between this demo app. I just restarted my computer, so I gotta like open up all my shit again. All right, so the main repo that I'm gonna be active in is the arcade repo. And all of this code, by the way, is open sourced on our main mono repo. This is, again, my very first Twitch video. Eventually, I'll get sophisticated about sharing links and all that shit. But LOL. So in this repo, I'm in a branch called Relay Setup. And then in here, I've got kind of like apps, and I've created an app called Relay. So that's where I'm active in. And you can see on the right here, I've got, let's see, I've got a folder for NIP1. And so if you're new to Nostr, like there's these, they call them NIPs based on BIPs, like Bitcoin Improvement Protocols, Nostr improvement possibilities or implementation possibilities. And each one kind of specifies its own piece of Nostr that's relevant. The main one, and that gets you pretty far in terms of allowing kind of basic functionality and people to interact with your relay, is NIP1. This is the main mandatory one. Then there's other ones that will kind of tangentially use, like NIP6 for, that's how we do the key pair schemes. So we've got that definitely implemented. But initially, we're just going to be implementing NIP1, and we're going to kind of see how far that gets us. And so this says, this NIP defines the basic protocol that should be implemented by everybody. New NIPs may add optional or mandatory fields and messages, blah, 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 blah. Events and signatures. So this is what I've started implementing, like having the relay recognize different events from the client. And I've got very basic like demo app sending an event to the relay. And so earlier today, a couple hours ago, I started a fresh Node.js app in Relay. So there's just like essentially nothing here right now. Got the WebSockets package. I've got this is just a package that I'm building called Nostr utils, where I'm basically pulling over some of the code from the Nostr tools npm package that Fiat Joff, the founder of the main guy behind Nostr, wrote a while ago. Kind of crappy TypeScript support. Someone added types there, but not to my liking. So I'm kind of pulling everything in and putting things in proper types with comments and stuff the way that I like it to be, kind of integrated in. So let's see. My relay pulls from the Nostr util. So I've got some of the like generic Nostr logic going into the utils so that I can pull that into multiple of the other apps, like up here. So for example, Mono Repo, if you don't know, it's just like one big ass GitHub repo where a bunch of different apps go. So Arcade City, that's the main mobile app, currently in beta. We just pushed out a beta build earlier today. All that code is there. We've got the bullrun demo. I think that's live at bullrun.arcade.city. I think that was just showing kind of a super basic feed. That was one of the first things I did. Map demo, that's live at map-demo.arcade.city. Just letting you zoom around this 3D map. We're using this in the mobile app. This is a map framework called HarpGL. really cool. It's in 3JS, which is a 3D framework in JavaScript. So if you're familiar with game engines like Unity or Unreal, it's kind of like most of the good parts of those engines, accessible in a browser because this is all just JavaScript, and it uses on top of 3JS called HarpGL. Recently deprecated, as in the development team is like abandoned it because they're folding it into a paid product that's not going to be open source. But we have all the code, and we are pulling. We're going to pull that soon. Once we get some of the Nostr stuff in place, we'll pull that code into a separate package. In fact, we've got some of that going now. If you look in the arcade-map repo, yeah. So there's going to be a lot of stuff in here. So map-web, that is the map that we're actually going to use in the app, pulled in via a web view. And right now I've got this demo where it's pulling these Nostr requests from a Nostr relay and kind of cycling through them. I've got to add a couple of things to kind of smooth out the. Sometimes there's little blank spots in the map. All right, next, that's just like a junk example Next.js app. I'm going to delete that soon. Relay, that's what I'm building. And then Storybook, that's a component library. I don't remember if we deployed that. Oh, no, yeah. We deployed it, but not at a nice URL because the service we're using wants a lot of money for that, which I don't want to pay. Okay, so Relay. So when developing, and I just restarted my computer, so I got to kind of go back in and do all this stuff, and you might see me flail around because I'm just sometimes it's a little hard to keep track of all the different development commands. But in here, I think I've got so yarn dev. They'll compile the TypeScript, and no, I did that from the wrong directory. That ran the root level yarn dev, which executes all repos. So this is just compile this folder, and it'll compile the TypeScript into JavaScript that goes into the dist file and then dist folder, and then it executes from there. All right, now let's pull open the web app and make a call. So right now, the relay is running at port 80, 88 or something like that. But it doesn't really make a difference until we can see messages. So we're going to open up a client. A client is something that consumes this. And right now I put some basic client consumption code in the map-web folder. So I'm going to go cd apps, cd map web. I guess I should figure out if there's a way for me to see chat because oh, hello. First time chat from viewer. Oh my God, I got some emojis. Hey guys. You are on the internet television. I got some follows. Oh shit. This is amazing. All right. Oh, I see the chat over there. Okay, very good, very good. All right, if you chat at me if you got a question about shit that I'm doing, drop it in the chat. I see it. I got my other laptop open now. All right, so I want to set up this, and let me see what the command is. The map web uses this boilerplate thing from the HarpGL thing, and it uses a package lock npm instead of yarn. So I gotta okay, it's yarn start. I gotta harmonize that at some point. It's got some crazy webpack config to do some stuff custom to this map framework. It's a little bit janky, but let's open this on localhost and then look at the console. So you can see in here, I put in the index. I'm just hard coding some stuff. Super basic, pulling in from Nostr tools, creating the Nostr relay, and then adding the relay. So here's the relay that's running locally. You see, usually I would open up in this case, read-only connection to the Damus relay, so that what's deployed up at map.arcade.city. That's pulling the last 14-ish requests from the Damus relay. And so those are requests that our previous bull run demo, it was all interactive with the Damus relay, but I'm now getting ready to set up our own arcade relay And I have a choice of using that are out there. If you go to awesome Nostr, there's like a list of these things. So you've got, there's a bunch of relays here. I think the main ones that people tend to use, I think, are Relayer. That's like a framework of a bunch of different examples from Fiat Joff, the main guy behind Nostr, and I'm not sure the status of any of these other ones. So Nostr is the one that I've been looking at most closely because it is also in Node.js, which I'm using for this, mostly just because I'm the most familiar with Node, and I want to have the type. This is JavaScript. So our mobile app, and I'm primarily like a React Native developer, and so like I love React Native because it lets us. Formally, my background is like in web development, so it was quite easy to learn, or relatively easy to learn how to build mobile apps cross-platform, both for Android, iOS, in React, JavaScript. So the backends that we're using are also Node.js because I'm familiar with it. Also, I want type reuse between client and server. Then the example Node.js relay, Nostr, Dolu, he's in the Nostr, Telegram, and active in doing some stuff. But this relay is like one of the first ones. It's 2 years old. All the stuff is like super outdated. It uses this Apollo framework. Speed quickly. I'm kind of bouncing between that and the Fiat Joff relays, which are written in Golang. I kind of know Go, so I'm able to kind of read that for like the good algorithms to put in the Node.js. And then there's just some interesting ones, like this one from Minds. So that's listed here. I've never used this, but there's apparently like a pretty popular social network called Minds, and they've got, I don't know what all they're doing, but it just got announced a few days ago that they are integrating with Nostr. And I was like, I saw that they were using Node.js. And so earlier today, I was like looking through their code. It's kind of like, oh, good. Like someone's making a new Node.js relay. But their relay basically just takes events and then forwards it to their third-party API. Maybe their API is open source. Maybe that's the second link here. Anyway, they've got like a pretty interesting setup that kind of, I guess, like smushes, the relevant Minds API code, PHP. Okay, I'm also a PHP developer. I don't really want to do PHP at the moment, but it's cool to see that they've got their code's open source, and I might go through and look through here. But the cool thing about the NIPs is that they're so simple. It just basically like parsing JSON data and like signing them. A lot of the like interesting code that's difficult around the signing of the transactions is already handled. Like I can just study like the Nostr tools repo example, for example, has like JavaScript with new also TypeScript definitions and all the like the stuff that I am not familiar with, like in terms of best practices for creating the private key from the seed and the HD key and all this stuff. Just have been able to basically copy paste that into our app. All right, so let's get caught up to where we're actually at and show the okay, so we got the local host here. So we are connected to our local relay, and I think I set it to automatically send a, where did my repo go? Yeah, here we go. Okay. So this is the console for the simple relay that I've got in this relay folder here. And I'll step through the code so you can kind of see what's coming where. So you can see this is the client sending a message. There's two main event types. There's request, event, and then close. A request is basically a subscription, and then event is a new message. And so I've got the where did I have the other code index here? All right, so you can see try some double window stuff here. All right, so on the left is the relay code. So on the left, we're setting up a pool that's from Nostr tools. We're just joining one. It's got logic for if you're like joining 7 different pools and sending events and doing round robin stuff that I don't care about right now. We're adding the local relay. We're creating the callback function for when the client, what happens when after we subscribe. So the first thing that's happening is it's subscribing to the relay pool, passing in this callback event with filter. So it's saying, I want to subscribe to events of kind 60. 60 is what Super, who did the bull run like rideshare protocol last week, he decided that 60 would be the ride request event. Cool. That's what that is. Set a limit of 50. And then that gets passed here. And ordinarily it's like, and you can read in the NIP1 spec, like exactly what the behavior is. Yeah, please don't step on my stuff. Let's see what let's just briefly read what it says about the request. So clients can send 3 types of messages, which must be JSON arrays according to the following pattern. So for a rec, subscription ID, which is just a random string to represent a subscription. And then filters JSON. Filters is a JSON object that determines what events will be sent in that subscription. Following attributes, you can have IDs, a list of event IDs, authors, hashtag E, a list of event IDs that are referenced in an E tag. So I guess the hashtag means it's stored in a tag elsewhere. A list of pub keys, and then timestamp stuff, and then limit. Upon receiving a rec message, the relay should query its internal database and return events that match the filter, then store that filter and send all future events it receives to the same WebSocket until the close event, just how it handles filters. And limit, for example, the limit is valid only for the initial query and can be ignored afterwards. So basically, you're getting an initial stream of events. If you say limit 50, it'll like shoot 50 events at you. And then you're also subscribed. If other events come in while you're listening, it'll send those to you until you close the connection. Event messages must be attached to a subscription ID. And then the events themselves, that's like the main thing up here. And it's nice, how simple this is. It says the only object type that exists is the event, which has the following format on the wire: ID, pub key. It's basically just like a signed blob of JSON data in a particular format, with the bare minimum of stuff to be able to like categorize it so that clients can just pull the event type that they want. Tags can allow interlinking of events, so you can like respond. If someone posts like the example of a tweet, you can respond to it and have it events linked to each other. And then brief for how to put certain types of encrypted data in here. So for encrypted direct messages, you can implement NIP4. This is probably one of the first NIPs other than one that we'll implement. Because I think this can be adapted for storage of wallet keys for LN bits. How we're handling our sort of semi-custodial Lightning wallets. Probably do a separate video on that later on. All right, so let's come back over here. So this down here is the console for the relay. And then we're calling this publish one, which creates a new account, which gets the public key and the private key. And that does this. Const mnemonic is we're generating seed words. We're getting like the mnemonic phrase from that and getting the public key from that. And then authenticating with the pool as that private key. So and then that's specified in NIP6 in terms of the public private key pair. Just copy pasting this stuff from the Nostr tools. Let me go back to there. So when it calls this publish one, we're just creating a new account every time. And then we're creating a Nostr event of kind 60. And kind 60 just means basically that the content in the content field is going to take a certain structure. And this just is what Super came up with for how we should structure it. So there's the from, like where the ride request originates from, where it's going to the name of the person, the amount of Satoshis, like Lightning, Bitcoin, and then when it expires. And we can extend this however we want and stuff whatever data in here. That's one cool thing about Nostr is that we have kind of the flexibility of NoSQL, as in we can just add whatever fields we want into the content and still have the kind of flexibility of an underlying SQL or SQL-ish relational database to query stuff quickly by tags and however we need. Okay, and so that publishes the event after it's signed, which is signing handled by the public function. And if you care about that, you can look at the Nostr tools. The pool file has all that logic. It's kind of hairy. Okay, so down here, we can see, and I'll step through the relay code. This is stuff that I've written in the last, few hours. Super basic. We're setting up a WebSocket server. We are, port 8088. We are saying that when anyone connects, we say client connected. There it is. On error. So on a message, it comes in as raw data. I think it's a binary blob. We convert it to a string. And assuming that goes well, we pass that and the WebSocket to other. We get more of the Nostr specific logic. We are parsing it as JSON because it comes in as whatever, raw string converted from bytes. And then it's going to be one of three things: rec, event, or close. Haven't started the close yet. So request is you're requesting events. Event is you're creating event. So I started building out the request, and I'm like, well, we need to have some events in there. So might as well build out event first. And this is kind of where I left. So where I left off was I had just gotten the client sending the properly formatted kind 60 event to the relay. We're passing the event to this function called handle event, which is blank. So you get to join me as I code this if you want to. And then I've been adding types as I go. I put this in the Nostr utils package, just defining Nostr event. It removed all of my other comments. Let me go over here. Tip 1. Yeah, so, and this isn't even like ideal TypeScript. I got to use like partials and stuff like that. But, that's a full Nostr event, just copy pasting stuff from the spec. Kind, that's an enum for different kinds. There's probably more than this. And so only a couple of these are standardized, like metadata, and server recognition, which is number 2. I think 0, 1, and 2 are the only kinds specified in NIP1. DM, I think, is specified in NIP4. And then, there's another NIP that specifies deletes. Boost and I'm pretty sure that comes directly from Damus. I pulled this enum from the Damus code. They're, building basically a Twitter, extending that. So, we want to have some of that functionality in our app, so we're going to use their same event types for that. And then 60 is what Super came up with. We will probably add more to this, Super's adding to Bull Run, the rideshare protocol, an ephemeral type, which we might have all or most of the rides, particularly like the location updates, be ephemeral. So if you put things between 20,000 and 20,000, 29 relays are not supposed to store those. So we'll add to Nostr kind as we go. And then, so Nostr event is when it's fully signed, and then there's just the different stages of signing, just to have this also properly typed to serialize it to sign it. And then here's the filters. I wrote that earlier, and then just some of the utilities functions. So that should be enough to get us going. So I've been learning up on. So it seems like most people use MySQL or other types of SQL for the database, and I don't want to do that. I don't like SQL. I don't know. I just use it so much. I just want to like try something new. And so I'm going to try implementing it in this other database type. This guy that I respect a lot, who does a lot of good cross-platform React Native Web stuff, Fernando Rojo, and EdgeDB. They just today launched their version 2.0. They call it a graph relational database. So it's, all I know about graph databases is that Facebook uses a graph database. If you're building like a massive application, graph database has some advantages that I'm not able to describe, but it has kind of syntax familiar to GraphQL. It has like relational connections similar to SQL, and kind of like more flexibility so some things feel more like NoSQL. And I don't know, it's kind of worth a try. So earlier today, what their API is, because this is something I'm completely new to and am learning as I go. So what I want to do now is, we have down here the parsed message of this format. I kind of want to go look at kind of the rough flow of how Relayer. So Relayer is the Nostr relay framework from. And in these handlers, it kind of steps through how they handle, for example, rec events. I'm not fully fluent on Go, but I can kind of roughly see what's going on. But we're going to start with the event creation. So let's see if I can read this. It's a new event. I'm marshalling it to JSON, check serialization, assign an ID. Assigning an ID. I thought it's already assigned by this point. Block too many indexable tags. Check the signature. It's event deletion. All right. Let's make it as simple as possible. We have the event. We need to dump it into the database. So let's go learn about how we put stuff into the database using the EdgeDB node library. EdgeDB node. So again, I have learned about this only today, and we're going to learn what the hell to do. I don't even think I've installed EdgeDB, so let's do that. And let me make sure right folder. So relay. Let's do yarn add. Doing exact. Let's see if that works. Okay, we've got EdgeDB 0.21.1, which supports Edge 2.0. That's good. Blah, new features. Should I commit that? What's my commit? tree look like? UI dist. Oh, I never git ignored the UI folder. I gotta figure out how to remove that. Deleting stuff. All right, so we'll say yarn add edgedb latest. Okay. Basic examples below. So this is something we'll definitely not to be in this file, but for now we'll just dump it there. Not sure if this has to be a function or try it like this. All right, so first let's inspect this object, see what it looks like. Handling events, .edgedb client. And let's start this back up. Nope. And let's rerun our web demo. All right, the resources glob happens after I've got to shim this. Now I'll just hard code that. Maybe this. All right. All right, so here's the object. Handling event, got edgedb client. Pool, client pool, options, transaction options, session. Okay, so I don't know what any of that means, but we have the client object. What's next? The call to edgedb create client doesn't require arguments, as the library can determine how to connect your database. Okay, for local development, initialize a project with the edgedb project init command. As long as the file is within a project directory, create client will be able to auto-discover the connection information of the project associated instance. That's cool. Well, let's see if that works. So let's try it. All right, no edgedb toml. Do you want to initialize a new project? Yes. Oops. Yes. Specify the name of edgedb instance to use with this project. Default relay. Sure, why not? Specify the version of Edge 2.0. Initializing edgedb instance. Applying migrations. First time using Edge, aside from doing the quick start tutorial earlier today. It seems super cool thus far. All right, to connect to relay, run edgedb. So let me commit that. What did I just do? Edgedb project init. Let's commit that. And might as well sync the changes. All right, now let's see what we do with this. Create client, and yeah, let's give this a try. Let's make handle event async. And let's see what this does. this. And refresh. All right, we have 4. That is as expected. I don't know why we would use that for math calculations, but okay, so we have a connection to the client. A query succeeded. We don't need that. This we can probably shrink down to just say what the idea is. All right. Know what does it look like to write an event to the database, and then I'm guessing we'll need to do the actual schema. All right, it says note that the result is an array. The query method always returns an array regardless of the result cardinality of your query. If your query returns 0 or 1 elements, use the query single instead. Okay. Query builder. Instead of all right, this seems important. Instead of writing queries as strings, you can use this package to generate a query builder. The query builder lets you write queries in a code-first way and automatically infers the return type of your queries. This will generate an EdgeQL query builder into this directory as defined relative to your project root. All right, apparently this is all super TypeScript, which is important, and I love that. So let's first commit changes. Detected tsconfig, generating TypeScript files. Oh, there's a lot of shit. Checking the generated query builder into version control is not recommended. Would you like to update getIgnore to ignore this? Sure. All right, that worked. Add, let's just do this, and add getIgnore. Sweet. I don't know what they did. Sweet. All right, so it added this thing. All right, so a bunch of type stuff that I don't want to look at. Okay, so it looks like that's where we put our schema. All right, now we need to make the schema. So I'm guessing we should make a schema definition for event. Do schema first. Okay. Yeah, so this is kind of like the GraphQL style. Now, I'm just going to kind of go with what I think needs to be done here. I've already installed the VS Code plugin here, so we got to type anything and stuff. No auto tab. Oh, so type. We're going to save these as events. And they should probably be very similar to the Nostr event type. Where did I define that? I'm guessing that we're saving all of this data. Let me confirm that. Not there. Relayer? Is there a schema definition here? Events. Where would that be? Looking for an event type. Here we go. Make nostr.event mean, I'm used to being able to click on this to jump to where it is defined. Nostr. I'm guessing if I search type event, no. Not just event. All right, well, this doesn't have all of what I was looking for, but at least we've got some information there. All right, so basically, required property. So I remember reading that these events schema definitions in EdgeDB get their own IDs. We need the event ID of the Nostr ID. I don't know if there will be a conflict. That's a string. Oops. Created at? I don't know what created at is. And give me an idea of what that should look like. Number. Int. I don't know what to put. Well, not title, first of all. All right, let me Google EdgeDB schema types. Date time. This is too much information. I need the schema. Okay, interesting. There we go. Daytime. Time zone aware pointer. It might need to be a number, but let's first try daytime. It's yellow. All right, so ID. Let's just go down exactly what I have in Nostr event. Pub key created at required property is an integer. Guess we'll do that as an int 64 or int 16. How many int 16 max value is what? 32,000. Yeah, that's not enough actually. It's a max value of an int 32. Yeah, that's definitely enough. Int 32 is tags. How do I do an array of tags? Doesn't work. Yeah, I don't know if blue means good or bad. How do we do an array? That's easy. Array of stir. Okay. Content is string. And sig is a string. Is that all that we need? ID, pub key, created at, kind, tags, content, sig. Well, that might be enough. All right, so let's save this. Add schema def for event. Now, I think we do something like EdgeDB migrate, maybe. Everything is up to date. No, that should not be correct. It is not up to date. I just made something new. Oh, EdgeDB create migration. No. EdgeDB migration create. Okay, there we go. Schema cannot redefine property ID. So I have to change this to something else. We could call it Nostr ID. We could call it NID. NID. The NID. Well, for clarity, I would do Nostr ID, but to save space, I don't know if that matters. I would do NID. NID is nice and concise. All right, let's do NID. All right, we've created the migration. So we'll create ID taken to NID. And this we will do HDB migration create. Oh, okay. I don't know what any of that is. All right, so we have a database. I guess we can manually add stuff to it if we want to, but I don't want to do that right now. Okay, so we have a database schema with the only really relevant model or data type built there, event. Okay. That's cat links smashing on the keyboard. I gotta find a good setup. She always goes right for my hand, wherever my hand is. Just the keys. All right, so we've got a schema, and this has been updated in the database. Now we really just need to write the thing that dumps the data into relay. No, don't rub on that. So I guess the EdgeDB npm JavaScript create like insert object. I'm guessing that's what I need to do. Insert. The insert command is used to create instances of object types. The code samples on this page assume the following schema. Okay. Basic usage. Well, this is not the node. This is the link. So let me try this. If I were to insert, for example, an event, it should give me an error. Default : event does not exist. Why do you think that? Didn't I migrate it? Oh, or did I not migrate it? Oh, I had written the migration but not executed it. Okay, let's go back into our doohickey here. And let's try that. Okay, good. There we go. So it finds event. It says there's no such thing as name. And if we call that, if we say the NID is, oops, gonna do this. Missing. Okay, that's good. We're getting proper validation. Should I put in a demo event here? Yeah, I don't want to. Let's figure out how to do. Actually, I wonder if I get type hinting here. Client dot. Okay, so I can do query, but I guess this is probably where the query builder comes in. I want to build up a query. What was I reading that was explaining the query builder? Probably EdgeDB. Go back to the JavaScript client. Or query builder. Yeah, let's see what this does. Why doesn't it like that? Oh, because it's not. Yeah, I guess I should move DB schema. Actually, let me see if I can import it from that directory. Some build tool might complain. We'll give it a try. And then give me an example query. e.select. I want to try an insert. So let's do this. Const query equals e.insert. Oh, look at this. Well, that's just autopilot. I don't know if that's accurate. Here we go. Does autopilot know this well enough to give me a good recommendation? Probably not. All right, let me just kind of guess based on the other syntax. So let's do e.event. Would there be a type for event? I need an example. Here we go. So one problem is it's not finding query in here. Or event, rather, my event. Base object? Well, I'm just going to put e.event and see what happens. And then I will put in things like nid. So I can do this. All right. Just see what this does. I might need to rerun the query builder. Command, because did I do that before the migration so I didn't see that type? First, let's just see what this does. Refresh. Playing out 4. So it's doing this. Did I save this? Yeah. All right, so it's doing that. Well, it's even outputting it, but it's not doing like nothing from. All right, so let me try something. Let me try rerunning. See if this creates anything else new. So let's look in here. Modules, syntax, cardinality, insert shape. Yeah, I'm wondering if like is doing this stuff based in part on my schema, and if I hadn't migrated it yet. Yeah, introspecting database schema. Maybe I'll get something different this time. I don't know. Do I see anything that looks different? Schema? Okay, I have event there, but it's hard to tell whether it's my event or their event. I should have looked at them. Oh, look at that. Yeah. That did it, because now it's not throwing an error there, and it's only freaking out at this. Booyah. Okay, so type, yeah, what's wrong here? Oh, I didn't put a comma there. Oh, it's your problem. Added a comma. Now what's your problem? This says, yeah, numbers to date time. Well, maybe I'll just not mess with date time. Maybe I'll go back to schema. Say, you know what? I don't know about that. Let's make this an int 32. I think int 32 is enough. Yeah, so let's do this. HDB migration create. Did you alter the type of property create ID of type? Yes, I did. Thank you for asking. Please specify a conversion expression to alter the type of property created at. I don't know. I don't have any events, so it shouldn't matter. If I just leave it blank. It doesn't want me to. Well, you know what I can do is I can probably just delete that initial migration. Say, fuck it. Create from scratch. Yeah, let's do that. It might freak out, but that would be at least informative. So let's delete this migration. Pretend that it's new. There is no database revision. Ah, shit. All right. I undid that. All right, let's learn about conversion expressions. Now requires an explicit conversion expression. Okay. All right, so there's an example of a conversion expression. Can I just try casting it like a number? All right. Set type, city, rolling back last operation. And do like force? Yes, I did. I don't want to. I don't want to. No. I don't know what these other letters mean. What did that do? Set type. Okay, there's something maybe more informative. Result of using clause for the alteration of property created at of object type default event cannot be cast automatically from scalar type to stir. Do I need to go search around their Discord? Maybe I. Let me search their Discord for conversion expression. Here we go. Normally, just an explicit cast expression, e.g., stir your property. Okay, didn't I try that? Oh, we gotta do this first. Created at. Default number does not. Okay, well, number is not what I'm trying to do. It's int32, right? Yes, I did. Let's try this again. Int32 created at cannot cast date time to int32. Then maybe there was something in here about date casting. Okay. To stir, I probably gotta do one of these. I feel like I'm getting closer. Let's try this. Let's first try changing it to a string. Well, first of all, let's just see if I can just cast it as that. From type stir. Was it a stir? Oh. I'm considering just blowing this away and reinitializing the project. Try this. HDB convert datetime to int32. First, let me try converting it to a string. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reinitialize the project. Project is already initialized. What if I delete this entire? Goodbye. I put this in the src directory? Maybe not. Project is already initialized. Oh, because it found the edgedb.toggle. All right, that's cool. Do it again. All right. Let's put this back. And we already changed created at to an int32. So that's the way I want it to be. Now I need to go create the migration. Create it. Then I need to run the migration. Then I'm adding first migration disables DDL. And then let's do just remember I did these three things. Now, hey, we've got no type errors. Well, now let's see if it freaking works. Let's move this up here. Like sync await thing. All right, let's see what this does, friendos. Yeah. That's not the right. I reloaded the error editor because I had that weird type error that was not going. I guess I gotta go reboot the this thing. Our demo client that sends event to. Okay. So I can't tell that anything is being done differently than what was being done before. First, let's just see if we're actually compilation error. It's looking like there's something is not reloading. Am I running the right command here in the relay? Let me try this. Just make sure that it's building. It looks like it is. It's not updating. Yeah, because I should see this, but I'm not. Why is that? Is it not recompiling? Let's take a look. I'm wondering if the import of the DB schema is screwing something up. Yeah, so I'm gonna guess that the import of that something up. The watch mode. Now I've got the question marks. Yeah, okay, so the import was not working. And I'm guessing DB schema may just need to be inside of source folder, so let's try that. And then we'll import this from there, and hopefully it works all the same. Come on. Is it tripping on the ESDL? Oh, that's not in my Git ignoring. Did that work? Nothing's being logged for the query. Let's open up the console. This directory. Where am I going into now? HDB. How do I select HDB? Select all fields. All right. Select it. No, it is not inserting an event. Why not? We don't have any type errors. That's good. Oh, I never ran the actual query. Well, it's disconcerting that it's not logging anything for that. There's a separate command. This. Forgot there's a separate command to actually execute the thing, I think. Query.run. All right. What is this one? Client. Maybe? And let's see what this does. Okay, I don't. Why is it not triggering code updates there? It's kind of. It did not rebuild this. Why not? This is from the previous version of this. Is there like a cache that I need to bust? Node. I don't know what's going on with that aside from. Let me try something. See that Let me try deleting the dist file. Let's just see what that does. It's not rebuilding a dist. And what is it actually doing? The hell is my dist? Reason. Maybe it's tripping on the ESDL. Is something importing that? Yeah. Yeah, it's like the TSC is freaking out. Alright, let me try something. I'm guessing that won't help. Let me just try it anyways. I think I might want to find like a tutorial code. Shows an example of using this edge, the query builder properly. I don't know why this is not. Wait, there it is. Now it says cannot find module. That's the old. That's old. What the hell. Okay, I'm gonna watch to see if it makes a dist folder. I don't see a folder. Let me try this yarn TSC, and then let me watch to see if it makes a dist folder. Okay, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna comment out the query builder. And then I'm going to do that again. That happened immediately. Now, let's see if it's just the import that screws it up. Yeah, it does not like that import. Okay, is it because I am not including it here? But I had previously pulled it into the directory. I thought I was getting the same issue. Let's just see what this does. Any difference? Any difference? Your NTSC is not working. It's trying to import from here. Guessing it trips up. Something in there. This seems like it should definitely be part of the source. But now look, I have a dist folder. When did it make that? Did it just make it really slowly? My exclamation points without the query builder. Does this consult the ESDL file? Because it might be something where it can't process that unless it has some kind of webpack shit config. So okay. And what module system to use. You can override this with the -- target flag. Do I need to change the target? Oh. What target is this making? Target CommonJS ES28. Does that matter? Yeah, so let me try this. Let me delete this. Let me create a script for what happened there. What is the command? npm. Let's see what this does. Okay. Generation successful. Add it to getIgnore. Yes. Did that actually add it to getIgnore? Not really. What the hell? There we go. Okay, so now that's common JS. Let's see if that made any difference. Oh, I think that's different than it was before. All right, well, did I have? I did have it imported. That might have done it. Put this here, and let me put this here. Please work. We got something. Nid, are we here? So the query was built. Did it run? Expression returns value of determinate type. Out of curiosity, let me just pop this open and see if it created anything. Okay. All right. Well, that's some progress, definitely. Indeterminate type. Here's a question. If I were to manually create this, let's make sure that the schema is actually ready to handle this. Do that. First of all, let me Google this. Huh. Out of curiosity, can I run what happened? No, that's just the actual event. Yeah, the result is empty. I see. Is it still? All right. Okay, well, the query is working. That's cool. The select query. Insert, not working. Why not? An ID has to be a string. Pub key is a string. Created as a number. Kind is a number. Tag is an array of strings. In our case, it's an empty array. I guess that is okay. Content is a string. Sig is a string. Okay, let's try this. Let's try creating it via console. Let me remember the syntax for creating via the console. Here we go. So what I want to do now is I want to create a. I want to make sure that the database is actually ready to receive this. So let's do insert event, and we'll just kind of hard code all of the stuff in here. So we'll start with NID is the event ID. I wonder if some of these are long. All right, we've got pub key is pub key. What else do we have? We have created at this syntax. We've got kind 60. Tags is an empty array. I'm not sure if that's how to type it in. Content. Single quotes are okay for that. And the signature. Let's see what happens. Okay. Oh, good. Yeah, this is the same error we were getting before, except now it points to the error is with the tags. That's apparently not how you represent an empty array. Empty array in EdgeDB. EdgeDB empty array. Do I have to do this thing? Array, what? Okay, maybe it just has to be cast. An array, stir. What about that? Oops. Syntax array expected. Syntax error. Weird. Oh. They have array in that case. It worked! Holy shit. Okay. Alright. So let me save that. Now, my query should work if I then go up here. Let's just make sure that we're querying database. Welcome, viewers, as I learn EdgeDB from scratch because I felt like it. All right, let's see if that works when I run that. And let's throw an event at the relay. Okay, query works. You can see there is the ID and the kind, which was what I asked to get back. I can ask for more things too, like the signature. That works great. Okay, so querying works nice. Our manual insert database worked fine. Now let's see if it's working properly. So basically, I cannot just send event.content, event.tags through. This has to be fucking what? How do I convert the JavaScript empty array into, do I need to like typecast it or something? Enter empty array into EdgeDB insert node. Tell me about arrays, friends. E. You know what? There might be some E bullshit I do here. E.array. Oh shit. Yes. I think that's it. I think that's it. Now, what are you complaining about? What is close? Close, I think. What is that? Teach me about this. JSON array unpack. Do JSON maybe? I don't know the difference. All right, what I need to do is get help on to specifically edge Node.js insert array. Well, this returns std JSON. Like, you say that it can accept an array of, but it looks like you can't. Do I need to type this? Any? Empty tuple not allowed. Question. Tags is empty. Should I just not pass it? Out of curiosity, what if I do that? Right now it's required. Missing value for required property tags. But what if I go make it not required? Maybe it's because I had said that the array was required. So let's try this. Create. Migrate. Rerun this. Oh shit. It's saved. Okay. So that's really good. Some extra on my do. Nice. Right, so the query still querying. Also do the query and also we got 2 events and 3 events. Oh. I want to say that we're almost at a good stopping point here. We're saving the event. That's really cool. Let me figure out event tag. Let's do this. What if we actually have tags? Like event tags length is greater than 0, then about Why is it mentioned examples? What I could do is just leave tags undefined for now. It sucks. All right, well, I've got more to learn about EdgeDB types and such. But the cool thing here is that we are parsing an event from client being thrown at our that is now able to save it to the database and query for all events. And we can just, more sophisticated query builder to tie that to the filters. So we'll gradually build out NIP1, EdgeDB, say, by the way, what is run? ID. So we'll do this. Call this saved event. Say save event with. All right, well, it took an hour of wrestling with it to come up with this nice little batch of code there. There's the event that comes in, and there's it telling us that we saved the event. All right, thank you for joining us on this first Chris Learns EdgeDB building Nostr relay. And it's going to gradually build this out. And we'll do other episodes at some point, probably, maybe. Questions, comments, insults, please tweet at us at Arcade City Hall. If this was mind-numbingly boring to you, or questions, whatever. Hit us up. See ya.